Hello, my name is Pumpkin Fluff, and I'm going to be casting the North American League of Legends Academy League Series for the spring split of 2018. This is Week 2, Match 2, Cloud9 Academy versus 100 Thieves Academy. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rosters for these two teams. On the blue side, we have Cloud9 Academy. It is Shiro in the top lane, renamed from League. Wiggly is in the jungle, Golden Glue as the mid laner, Keith is AD carry with his support Zazel. On the other side of the map we have 100 Thieves Academy. Kaizen is in the top lane, Kitsuo is subbing in the jungle for Levi, Linsanity is in the mid lane, Rikara is AD carry with Wyan as his support. Let's go ahead and get into this match. Okay, we're going ahead and getting into this match. It looks like we do get to take a look at the picks and bans for this game. For Cloud9 Academy, they've banned out Jace, Kalista, Ornn, Taric, and Janna. On the other side, it's Sejuani, Alawi, Gnar, Azir, and Gangplank. Looks like 100 Thieves Academy was focusing on the top lane with the Gangplank, Alawi, and Gnar bans, whereas on the other side, Cloud9 Academy put a little bit more of their focus towards the bottom lane with the support bans. As far as the picks in this game, Cloud9 Academy have gone with Maokai in the top, Rek'Sai in the jungle, Ryze for the mid lane, Kog'Maw is AD carry with Tahm Kench for the support, keeping that Kog'Maw very safe. In the top lane for 100 Thieves, it's Kaizen playing the Cho'Gath, Jarvan the fourth in the jungle for Kitsuo, Linsanity is on Malzahar in the mid lane with AD carry Ezreal for Rikara, and Wyan picking up Zilean as his support. Now, the Zilean pick is very interesting. It's something that's been seen as a counter to Malzahar. However, this time it is being played on the same team as the Malzahar. There were a couple of support bans coming out from Cloud9 Academy, so maybe Wyan felt like he was pushed more towards this pick. Cloud9 Academy doesn't really have any assassins for Zilean to stop. He's usually picked into assassins just so that your team has that extra revive and the extra life. So we'll have to see how he ends up playing this out. Again, it's a really curious pick with tanks usually being prevalent there in the bottom lane, having that relic shield on all four bottom laners usually so that they can just heal and sustain through the lane. He is taking the coin on the Zilean, so it looks like he's just going to try and play a little bit passive, make sure they get through the laning phase fine, and then hopefully help out in the team fights of this game. The top lane for both these teams are just going to be these massive tanks, so I don't expect there to be a whole lot happening on either side of the map in the top lane. Both these tanks are just going to have a fine time farming it out and growing into late game monsters. Cho'Gath is going to be a little bit scary against this Kog'Maw later into the game. Even though Kog'Maw has this Tahm Kench behind him, if Cho'Gath gets on top of you, he can pretty much just one-shot you. And you just have to pray that your Tahm Kench gets there in time. Looks like Wiggly's going to start on the red side of the map here in the bottom lane, as well as Kitsuo on 100 Thieves side also starting with his bottom lane giving him a leash. Both are going to be ending their routes at the top side of the map. There is good gank setup on both sides for the top lane, but it's not going to do a whole lot to get either of those lanes rolling early on. I expect more focus to be put here either in the mid lane or towards the bottom lane. It could be really easy for Cloud9 to get a gank off onto this Zilean, as he's going to be pretty squishy and he's not very mobile. He does have that speed up, but that's really about it as far as safety goes for this Zilean early in the game. So I'd like to see Cloud9 put a little bit more pressure down there towards the bot side. Looks like the junglers are going to meet here in the mid river, with Wiggly actually grabbing that Scuttle Crab first. It's really good for him just being there in position a little bit before Kitsuo. So far, it's going to just be actually, looking at across these lanes, Ryze is having a very large CS lead here in the mid lane, able to bully out Linsanity on Malzahar. He was up nearly 10 CS. Malzahar was able to pick up a few of those under the turret, but we'll have to see if he can keep up that pressure. Wiggly is coming in here for a game onto the Cho'Gath. They knock him up, the silence comes out, the rupture comes in from Kaizen. He's able to flash away, but Wiggly follows with his own flash. Picks up the first blood for Cloud9 Academy. Really good to get this Rek'Sai going, however, as he's going to be strong here early into the game. Able to make plays all across the map using those tunnels to really move around quickly. This is great for Cloud9 Academy, able to pick up a very early first blood. Kaizen is not going to lose a whole lot off of this death though. He's able to teleport back up to lane and is not going to lose really any farm here. Wiggly is going to have a very slight advantage just being able to get... Or not Wiggly, I'm sorry. Shiro is going to have a slight advantage, able to pick up a couple more CS, have that assist when he goes back to base to purchase for his first time. Golden Glue is doing a great job here in the mid lane. He's one of the players that I want to keep an eye out for on the side of Cloud9 Academy. Moving down from LCS from last year, and a couple of years before that even, I'm really expecting him to kind of show his dominance as a professional mid laner here and see what he can do on this rise to take over the game. Since he does have more experience playing against more proficient mid laners in his LCS time, I expect him to really shine here in the Academy League. So I'm going to be watching him and hoping to see that from him. And so far he's doing a great job. Up 10 CS against this Malzahar. This Wiggly is here on the side looking for a gank. Golden Glue walks forward trying to bait this out, but it doesn't look like Linsanity is going to take the bait. Instead he's just going to push up this final minion and try and get some wards out on this side of the map. He does spot Wiggly here in the bush, and it looks like Wiggly's going to clear out that control ward and maybe back away. Linsanity does have to stay careful though, since he saw Wiggly clear out that ward. He doesn't know if the Rek'Sai is staying around here or if he decided to move on. Wiggly has been spending a lot of time here in the mid lane. He's already farmed up both sides of his jungle though, so he's not really missing out on a whole lot. Kitsuo does come here and Wiggly sees him, so he decides to back off as 100 Thieves Academy starts to gain control of this side of the river around mid. So again, although Wiggly spent a lot of time there in the mid lane, he didn't lose a whole lot off of that as he had already cleared his jungle previously. Rek'Sai having that really good clear time, he's able to spend more time out on the map looking for these ganks and trying to put pressure on his lanes. Here in the bottom lane, it looks like it's pretty even in CS. Keith and Zeyzal are down a little bit against this Ezreal and the double range bot lane. But they should be doing just fine. Kog'Maw's going to scale really well into the later stages of this game, where he's going to put out a ton of damage in the team fighting portions of this game. Looking towards the team fights later on in this game, it's going to be very similar, with tanks in the top lane, bruisers coming out of the jungle, the mages in the mid lane, and really the only difference for the team fights is going to be coming out of this bottom lane. Having an extra tank on the side of C9 will favor them. However, Wyon's ult on the Zillion can kind of offer a pseudo tank role to another player on the team. So a lot of the team fights, I believe, is going to come down to how well Wyon plays it on this Zillion, as it's not a common pick and might be able to throw C9 Academy off their game. It's going to be a while though before we get into any kind of team fights. Looks like both these teams are just slowly playing it here in the early game stage of this match. Wiggly is trying to get a little bit of pressure down. It actually looks like Shiro is going into the topside jungle of 100 Thieves Academy, getting down some vision so that they know where this Jarvan is right before he hits level 6 with that ultimate. Wiggly's still spending a lot of time here around mid lane, but again, they're not able to get a whole lot. Just pressure for Golden Glue, which he is using to gain himself a sizable CS advantage. Up 25 minions at this point in the game is actually really big, only 8 minutes into the game. really just putting the hurting onto Linsanity on this Malzahar. He does have the teleport for Linsanity, so even if he does get pushed out of lane, he'll be able to come back and pick up those minions. But it doesn't even look like he's getting shoved out of lane. He's just having a hard time actually reaching the lane in the first place to be able to pick up these creeps. He does teleport back to lane, and Malzahar has really good wave clear, so he'll be able to pick those up quickly, maybe start to look to make some roams on his own now that he's hit level 6. Looks like there's a gank coming in here on the top lane. Wiggly comes in, the ult comes out from Shiro on the Maokai, roots up Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath is going down. That's another kill picked up for Wiggly. Second kill for him in this top lane, really bullying this Cho'Gath. And they're going to try and actually make him miss some CS this time. Again, he does have that teleport up, but it's going to be 10 seconds before he can get back to this lane. Really good for Wiggly to pick up these kills. Having that crowd control on the Maokai makes it really easy for this Rek'Sai to follow up with damage. And Cho'Gath's going to have to worry about falling behind here. It's hard for the Maokai to punish on his own, but if Wiggly keeps picking up kills, it's really going to propel him forward so that he can look to start carrying this game. It looks like Cho'Gath is going to save his teleport and instead walk back up to the top lane, knowing that there might be a fight around this dragon here in the bottom lane. It is an ocean drake, not something like a mountain or a fire, so we'll have to see how much pressure and priority these teams actually put around that dragon. With 100 Thieves Academy holding on to that teleport, looks like there's a fight here in the mid lane. Linsanity taking down the half thanks to Golden Blue's rise. Again, he's just putting the hurting onto Linsanity on this Malzahar, and it's probably going to force Malzahar out of lane. He is out of lane, but he's coming down to the bottom lane. There's a 4-man unit coming in here for the side of 100 Thieves. Kitsuo jumps in, but Kog'Maw is picked up by the Tom Pinch. Both teleports are coming in. Looks like it is canceled on the side of Cloud9 Academy, so it's a 5-man bottom unit, and now Cloud9 Academy has to be aware for this dive coming in on the side of 100 Thieves Academy. It looks like Cloud9 Academy is going to stay here. It's a very dangerous proposition for them to try and defend this turret. The first turret is going to go down in favor of 100 Thieves Academy. Good job on them for making that move and continuing with the teleport, knowing that they could push through and get that first turret. On the side of Cloud9 Academy, however, they will trade that with a turret in the mid lane and possibly even this top turret. So it might be a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Cloud9 Academy. Since Shiro did cancel his teleport, he's able to get a lot of damage onto that top lane turret. Now that Cloud9 Academy has control over this top side of the map, they're also going to look to get Rift Herald. So although that was a very good move on the side of 100 Thieves Academy, Cloud9 Academy is able to play it safely and pick up a lot more advantages for their own part. Good job on them not trying to match that teleport play in the bottom, and instead knowing that since they're ahead in the top side of the map, they can get even more advantages from it. They pick up the Rift Herald and 2 turrets, while at the same time here in the bottom, it looks like 100 Thieves Academy is going to try and pick up this Ocean Drink for themselves. At 11 minutes into the game, it is a very good dragon to take, although the laning phase is pretty much over with all these turrets falling so far. It is going to be picked up by 100 Thieves Academy, and it looks like there's no contest from Cloud9 Academy. They had a little bit of vision there on the bottom side of the pit, but that did not look like a fight that they wanted to take. So far, it looks like the lanes are going back to where they started, with both bottom laners going back to the bottom lane, mid laners in the mid, and the top laners staying up there for the tanks. Wine gets a nice stun onto the bottom lane of Cloud9 Academy, but it's not going to amount to much. 100 Thieves Academy looks like they're trapped here in the jungle, but Kitsuo is going to hit that blast plant. He'll be okay to just walk away. On the top side of the map, Shiro keeps looking to pressure onto Kaizen. Now that he's already taken on that turret, he's going to be able to push Cho'Gath up to the 2nd tier turret. They do have some vision in that top side jungle, so he doesn't have to be too worried about the gank, especially since they just saw Jarvan on the bottom side of the map. He's able to freely push up this Cho'Gath into turret and get some more harass onto the turret. It looks like he's coming in for a gank here, though, in the mid lane. We'll have to see if Insanity is aware of this. He harasses out the rise, gets the silence onto him. And it looks like he might get wrapped around on. Shiro throws down the sapling, and it is going to get the spell shield off of the Malzahar. But with Wine here in the mid lane as well, nothing much is going to come from that. It looks like for the bottom lane of Cloud9 Academy, they're a little scared to push up. They don't have vision on this bottom side, and since they've already lost the turret, it would be easy for 100 Thieves Academy to set up a camp there in the bottom lane. So it's going to be hard for this Kog'Maw to pick up farm. He does move to the mid lane, and they swap the Ryze down to the bottom lane. Ryze is going to be stronger in that 1v1, a little bit more safer, having his ultimate and the stopwatch to get out if anybody does come for him from the side of 100 Thieves Academy. Wiggly is here though in the topside jungle of 100 Thieves, and he smites away that red buff. That's good steal for Cloud9 Academy. Able to really put pressure on all points of the map. They're strong on this top side here, having more people with the AD carry hitter in the mid lane. But at the same time, Ryze is able to freely split push on the bottom side. Looks like he doesn't want to push up too much further past the halfway point until they get more vision, which it looks like Cloud9 Academy is going to focus on putting some of that down in the bottom jungle of 100 Thieves. Jiro and Kaizen are here up in the top lane, but since they're both tanks, not a whole lot's going to come of it unless Wiggly decides to show up there in the top lane again. He instead pops this Rift Herald down in the bottom lane, and they're going to look to take down this last remaining outer turret for the side of Cloud9 Academy. If they can get this at 15 minutes into the game, it's going to be a huge early game lead for Cloud9 Academy. Looks like Insanity's not going to be able to clear out that wave, and this turret is taking a little bit of damage. However, there's 3 people here to defend on the side of 100 Thieves. Doesn't look like a whole lot's going to whole lot of damage is going to come out. However, the teleports are coming out on the side of 100 Thieves Academy. Shiro is in a little bit of trouble as he gets trapped by the Ezreal and the Jarvan. Takes a little bit of damage on his way out, but they're not going to be able to catch him or kill him. Overall, it looks like a trade of teleports, but not much other than that. The Rift Herald was popped on the side of Cloud9 Academy and was not able to get a turret, so not the best use of that Rift Herald for them. Did get them a little bit of damage onto that tower, so maybe the Ryze will be able to go back down there in the future and finish it off. But until they start putting more vision down on the bottom side of the map for Cloud9 Academy, they're going to have a hard time actually pressuring that turret. Instead, it looks like AD carry and support are going to stick here in the mid lane and just try and clear out these turrets, knowing that it's going to be difficult for 100 Thieves to push up too far without having their own mid lane turret to fall back to. The game is kind of reset. Both mid laners are now down in the bottom with the AD carries and support and mid laner. Actually, it looks like Shiro went down to the bottom. Hoping to match up against this Cho'Gath here, who he can continue to push up to the turret. Looks like he was not lucky in that. Malzahar's going to match him in the bottom, although looks like Cho'Gath is moving back down there. So all the matchups are going to be the same, just in the wrong lanes. As far as next steps on the map go, there is a dragon spawning in a minute and 30, so I expect some more vision to be put down around there coming up in the next minute or so. Cloud9 Academy does have their vision down there, so I expect 100 Thieves to start maybe clearing some of that out and pushing out their bottom lane. As they've already taken down that turret, they can push out and get some pressure on the bottom side of the map and look to control that second dragon for themselves. For the side of Cloud9 Academy, Golden Blue is up here in the top lane pushing in Insanity again. They do have, again, vision here in the top side of the map for Cloud9 Academy, so he's going to feel safe pushing up that bit further. But he's not actually going to make it up to the turret, and it looks like everyone's just going to remain clearing waves. Maokai is starting to get a pretty big CS lead over this Cho'Gath, 148 to 120, nearly 30 CS up. It looks like Wiggly's trying to start a fight here in the mid lane. He goes in, but he gets stunned by the Zillion, and that's going to pretty much stop the play coming out of Cloud9 Academy. Instead, they're just going to clear some wards. 5 people here in the mid lane for Cloud9 Academy. they're going to move down to this dragon, which is spawning in about 15 seconds. However, 5 people are here on the side of 100 Thieves. Wine gets rooted up. He does have the Zillion ulti on himself, but it looks like Cloud9 Academy is going to pop that ulti. He's going to go down. He gets resurrected, flashes away. The root comes out onto Cho'Gath, but that's the massive tank in the front line. They continue to root him. Wiggly goes in onto Insanity, but Insanity pops the ult. He gets eaten up by the Comp Kinch. Instead, Kitsuo goes in with the Jarvan ultimate. He pops the stopwatch and is able to get out. Insanity's low. Golden Blue flashes and gets the kill onto Insanity. Kog'Maw gets the kill onto Jarvan. The Ryze ult comes out, and looks like Cloud9 Academy is going to keep chasing this one. Instead, 100 Thieves Academy does manage to get under their turret and disengage that fight. Overall, a 2-for-0 in favor of Cloud9 Academy, and they're going to look to take this Fire Dragon as their reward for that fight. Very well played fight out of Cloud9 Academy, using that Tahm Kench to stop the Malzahar ult, with Wiggly going in and doing massive amounts of damage onto the back line of 100 Thieves Academy. Now that this Rek'Sai has gotten going, he's going to be a terror to deal with. It's going to be really hard for the Cho'Gath to stop whoever he decides to jump in on. So instead they're going to have to depend on Lion to use that ultimate to stop this Rek'Sai damage from coming through. However, that time they were able to catch out Lion at the start of the fight and blow his blow the Zillion ult. So they weren't able to have that once the fight actually started to break out. Really good job for Cloud9 Academy to have everyone there together in the mid lane, anticipating that fight and being prepared to take it as the dragon spawned. Overall, Cloud9 Academy has had very good teamwork in these games. Last week they started out one of their games with a huge gold deficit, but were able to stall it out until they reached the point where they scaled better than the enemy team. Were able to clutch out that victory using their teamwork and map play. And then later on in the week against CLG, they really took it to CLG through their team play and using the globals on the Tahm Kench. So I'm excited to see Cloud9 Academy continue to use this team play, knowing that they have the Tahm Kench and can move around the map, especially using Golden Blue's Rise as well, to just put pressure everywhere on the map and try and take over this game. Really, I'm looking at Golden Blue and Keith on the side of Cloud9 here to be forces to reckon with. Both of them coming out of LCS, they should be really strong players and really able to take over this Academy League. So I'm expecting really big things out of both of them, and so far Golden Blue has not disappointed. He's nearly 30 CS up over his opponent in the mid lane there. And this Rise is doing massive damage and able to just not let Insanity play the game, basically. For Keith, he's having a little bit of a harder time against the Ezreal. Ezreal can kind of bully people in the early stages of the game, in the laning phase. But Keith managed to stabilize for the most part. He is 20 CS down, but he does have that Rage Blade building towards the Wit's End, and for the most part he's online. So I want to see what Keith can bring on this Kog'Maw for the team. He does get hit by a Zillion Bomb, but he's got the shield there from the Relic Shield questline passive, and he's not going to take any damage from that. On the side of 100 Thieves, I'm really looking at Rikarin and Ryan to be the big forces in this game. Both of them came from the Challenger Series last year. Both of them did really well in the Challenger Series. And now that Ezreal is sitting on his Trinity Force and Muramana, he should be hitting really hard. So we'll have to see if 100 Thieves is able to set up their team for some Pope scenarios. They are able to clear out this vision around the Baron buff, and it looks like they're going to try and stall out the game and hopefully get Ezreal in a position where he can just keep firing poke from these bushes around the mid lane. Wyan, it is interesting to note, has gone with the Ruby Sightstone upgrade instead of the coin combination with the Sightstone. He's looking to have that extra cooldown reduction and maybe as well as the upgraded coin item. Just be able to start some fights here on the side of 100 Thieves Academy. Having that coin active as well as the Jarvan going in could be a really strong initiation for 100 Thieves Academy. So we'll have to see what happens once he actually upgrades that. Looks like both of these teams are just sitting here in the mid lane, trying to get some poke onto each other, get control of this minion wave, try to clear out vision of the Baron pit. Cloud9 Academy is sitting at about 4,000 gold in the lead right now, which is a pretty big lead here at 22 minutes into the game. It's definitely not something that can't be overcome for 100 Thieves, but it is a pretty good advantage for Cloud9 Academy. Looks like, yep, Zillion did upgrade to the Talisman, I believe it's called. So he's going to have that speed up bonus to start the fights here for his team. So we'll have to look and see if they make use of that and actually try to play proactively after they get some Ezreal poke out. Ricard does shift forward and gets a big chunk of damage onto Keith. He gets slowed by the Tom Pitch Tongue, and Zazel does eat up Cogmaul before he gets hit by that Ezreal ult. So good job from Cloud9 Academy to disengage that as Ezreal does shift forward aggressively. Looks like again this game is going to stall out a little bit, both teams just looking to push forward and get vision around the Baron. Golden Blue is here on the side, actually having control of the Baron pit. Maybe looking to flank here in the future if 100 Thieves does push up too far. Shiro is coming in from the side, and it looks like a fight's going to get started. He gets knocked up, suppressed by the Malzahar ult, he's stunned, but he does get eaten by the Tom Kinch, and it looks like he's going to survive through that. So really good out of Shiro to get all those ultis down without really blowing anything himself. Although his blowing was the flash from Tom Kinch, which could be important later on into this fight if Keith gets himself into a bad position. But if that doesn't happen, that's a lot of ultimates blown on the side of 100 Thieves Academy. Actually, just the Malzahar ult and the Ghost. So overall, it was a fairly even trade, not a whole lot gained from either team. Although Shiro was looking to bait out some of those spells. We'll have to see if Cloud9 Academy is able to do anything while this Malzahar ult is down. And it looks like they are moving down to the second Inferno Drake, which has spawned. If they pick this up, that's going to be a very big boon for Cloud9 Academy. Cogmaul, Rise, and Wiggly on the Rek'Sai are all going to have a great time making use of that dragon buff. Looks like Wiggly has gone with the more damage-oriented Rek'Sai build, which I expected with him being up ahead. Starting out this game, he's gone for the Black Cleaver Warrior enchant, and I expect him to start working towards that Guardian Angel as his next item. Really being able to get in there and disrupt the back line of 100 Thieves Academy. The Wits End has been completed for Cogmaul, and he's building towards his third item, which looks to be a Hurricane. So he's going to be in a very good spot, just able to freely hit the Cho'Gath and Jarvan whenever they jump in onto him is his hope, especially having Tom Kinch there to save him. Again, the car shifts forward to get some poke on Zazel, but that Tom Kinch is awfully tanky, and really that damage is not going to stick on him for now, having that gray health passive. It is, again, interesting to note that Tom Kinch has picked up the QSS for himself. So if the Malzahar ults him, he'll be able to break free, and he can pretty much save anyone else who does get Malzahar ulted. I think that's a really smart pickup on the Tom Kinch. It means that the rest of his team is going to be free to not build those QSSs, since he can save them. So really a pretty gold efficient buy there for the Tom Kinch, meaning that instead of buying 4 QSSs for the team, they can just buy 1. Rise has picked up one for himself since he was laning up against that Malzahar. So really Linsanity's options for who he can ult are pretty much limited to this Maokai for now, but we've seen that that isn't effective as Tom Kinch is always there to stop it. Shiro is here in the bottom lane pushing up, and it looks like he's going to grab another tower for the side of Cloud9 Academy. And now they're up 4-1 in terms of turrets. 5,500 gold early on into the game. This is looking really good for Cloud9 Academy, and I expect them to continue to put pressure all along the map. Looks like Golden Blue and Zazel are moving here to put some pressure on the Insanity, but not enough people took that Rise ult, so Insanity is going to be able to just walk away, burning the Ghost as he does so. Shiro jumps onto Ricard, but it looks like he might be stuck here as Kitsuo comes in. He has to flash over the wall as Kaizen teleports in. Kaizen does pop the Righteous Glory, and it looks like Keith might be in a little bit of trouble. Zazel is there, he eats up the Cogmaul, is able to just walk away. Again, this is very good disengage from the side of Cloud9 Academy. 100 Thieves Academy is having a really hard time trying to start these fights. Shiro gets jumped on and he gets suppressed, and now Pumpkin is able to eat him up again. Looks like Shiro might survive. He does go down to that bomb on the Zillion, and now it's a 4v5 on the map. Keith does get knocked up. He's silenced. He's taking a lot of damage. The bomb is on him, but it's not going to do quite enough. On the other side, Kitsuo did get very low, and Golden Glue is coming in for flank, but it looks like he might be caught out of position. He flashes over to the Baron Pit, and he might get out of this one. He does have the speed up from the Shrine. The flash comes out from Kaizen. The silence comes out. Ricard shifts in, and it looks like Golden Glue might go down. Kaizen stops because he's low and thought he might die. The shift comes out again, and finally Ricard does pick up that kill onto Golden Glue. Now they have 50 seconds on the map without the mid laner from Cloud9 Academy. It looks like they're going to try and burn down this Baron with that advantage. It's a 3v5 on the map. Cloud9 Academy looks like they might try and poke them off this turret, but it's a scary proposition. Kog'Maw gets stunned up, but he does get eaten out. He's putting out a lot of damage, and it looks like they have stopped the Baron. Shiro does teleport in and throws down the ult, and it looks like this fight might be over. Ricard is trying to put out some poke, but it looks like 100 Thieves decides to disengage this fight. Really good stop on the Baron from the side of Cloud9 Academy, even though it was a 3v5. Shiro was able to teleport into this fight, and with his Maokai ult, really stopped them from doing the Baron. While Keith was on the backside putting out just tons of damage on this Kog'Maw. Looks like now Cloud9 Academy are going to start up this Baron for themselves. This is very scary as Kitsuo is here with the Jarvan. He should be able to flag and drag in and try for a smite steal if Cloud9 Academy does not back off. Looks like Golden Glue joins in here with his own teleport now that he's survived from base. And they're going to call off the Baron on the side of Cloud9 Academy. It's been a very hectic couple of minutes here, but overall nothing has been gained. 100 Thieves were able to pick up a couple of kills in those fights, but overall weren't able to take any objectives until finally they took down this mid lane outer turret, bringing them up to 2 turrets. Looks like they're going to continue to look towards the Baron here. They might have spotted Maokai on the bottom side of the map, and they know that he doesn't have the teleport. This is going to be a very scary fight for Cloud9 Academy if they want to take it. It's a 4v5 right now with the Maokai running in from the bottom. Keith is on the front side of the map, and he's getting out quite a bit of damage, and it's going to be enough to stop 100 Thieves Academy from starting this Baron. However, on the bottom side of the map, that giant minion wave that Shiro went to go clear was able to take down the turret. So really good job from 100 Thieves, having the map pressure themselves, able to take down that turret with just the minion wave. In response, the Cloud9 Academy is here in the middle lane, and they are able to take down this outer turret for themselves. The Rise ult comes out, and it looks like they're going to start the Baron off of that. They don't have any vision in this pit on the side of 100 Thieves Academy, and it looks like Cloud9 Academy is going to be able to burn this down. Very good map play from the side of Cloud9 Academy, and that's what I expect out of this team. Having that Rise ultimate and Golden Glue, who has the experience playing in the LCS, they're able to make good use of their push and pressure on the map, able to pick up that Baron basically for free after picking up the outer turret in the mid lane. Great sequence of events for the side of Cloud9 Academy, and we'll have to see what they can do with this Baron buff. On the side of 100 Thieves Academy, it was very hard for them to follow the Rise. Once they got pushed into the mid lane, they had no way to actually get to the Baron pit in a quick enough amount of time. So really good job on Cloud9 Academy to know that they had that advantage and the timing window to burn down that Baron very quickly. 100 Thieves Academy is just going to look to hold on here, wave clear as much as possible. They don't have to be too worried about the bottom wave or top wave as of yet. Cloud9 Academy is going to have to do some work before they start crashing in those minion waves onto turret. So right now, 100 Thieves can put most of their focus in the mid lane and clearing out these waves until they see members of Cloud9 Academy move towards the side lanes. The wave clear is decent on the side of 100 Thieves Academy. Malzahar should be able to clear out these waves fairly easily. However, the Ezreal really only has his ultimate to help with that. Although the Cho'Gath with his W and Q can help a little bit, it's fairly short wave clear though on the side of 100 Thieves Academy. Kitsuo jumps in onto the Kog'Maw, but Kog'Maw gets eaten up. The suppress comes out onto Shiro, and he gets eaten up by the Cho'Gath. as Rikara picks up that kill. Rikara keeps going forward. He's on the front side of this fight. He throws down the ultimate, and Keith is going to be able to sidestep that. Really good pickup on the side of 100 Thieves Academy as they continue to chasing. Again, Cogmal gets eaten up by the Tom Kinch, but it looks like Zazel might be slightly out of position. He does hit the blast cone, but it looks like Kitsuo wants to dive this underneath the tower. Zazel has to be careful. They do have those Baron buffs on the side of Cloud9 Academy, so they're going to be able to back and safely get back to base very quickly before being dove under this tower. Really good pickup for 100 Thieves Academy, just pulling the trigger and going in on that Jarvan ult, knowing that they have the damage with the Malzahar ulti to kill the Maokai once that Tom Kinch has already eaten Cogmal. Really smart play out of 100 Thieves Academy, baiting that Devour from the Cogmal so that they could then blow up the Maokai without having really any answer on the side of Cloud9 Academy to stop that Malzahar ult. It looks like Golden Glue did stay up here in the top lane after that fight and was able to take down the turret for himself using this Baron buff for push. Really good on him instead of backing to try and reset with the rest of his team, but keeping up the pressure on the map. It looks like Cloud9 Academy wasn't dissuaded from that fight, and now they have 3 members here in the bottom lane looking to crack this inhibitor turret. As my own voice cracks. Wonderful. Now that they've got the siege going, Keith is taking a little bit of damage, but having the 2 relic shields, he should be able to heal up a little bit. Again, Kitsuo jumps in with the Jarvan ultimate. Huge knockup coming out from Cho'Gath, and it looks like the Jarvan is going to go down. Shiro is very low, but he's able to live. Linsanity pops his stopwatch and has the Zilean ult on him, so he's going to resurrect, but he's going to fall after this one. And Zazel looks like he's coming in with the Golden Glue on the backside of the map. Golden Glue is just dishing out tons of damage, able to take down the Zilean, and it looks like he's going to try and follow up onto this Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath is into the fountain though, and Golden Glue is taking a lot of damage. Zazel is there to save him on the backside. But Zazel now might be in trouble. He decides not to pop the Great Health despite going solo. He pops it now, and now he's not going to get the healing out of it. Very good fight on the side of Cloud9 Academy. It was a 3-for-1 in their favor, only losing Shiro as their tank, but able to pick up the Jarvan and the Malzahar as they have to stop and try and deal damage without being mobile. Very good fight on the side of Cloud9 Academy. Able to just take that to 100 Thieves Academy in their base. One of the things that I do want to note was interesting in that fight was the reason why I think 100 Thieves Academy decided to pick up the Zilean in the first place. It means that Malzahar can basically ult whoever he wants without fear of getting blown up if he's out of position. Zilean can just ult on top of the Malzahar, which means that Malzahar can basically be wherever he wants when he pops that ultimate, as long as his team is nearby to follow up. So you see all that almost working out in that fight, but not quite enough, as Cloud9 Academy is very far ahead at this point, able to snowball the fight, regardless of having that Zilean ult for 100 Thieves. I would like to point out that this is something I don't see very often. It looks like Rise went ahead and upgraded his QSS to the Mercurial Scimitar. I'm a little surprised at that one. Like I said, it's not something I see too often, but it does give him a little bit more damage on his auto attack as the fight's breaking out. Kitsuo does have the ultimate on from Zilean as he goes in, but it looks like he's going to die and be resurrected. Redemption is coming out to reset that fight, and it looks like not a whole lot is going to be gained from either side. A couple of summoner spells were blown on the side of Cloud9 Academy, as well as the flash being blown by Kitsuo. Overall, though, not a whole lot gained from either team in that fight. Both of them able to disengage very well. But it looks like Kitsuo and Wyan are trying something here on the side. A giant stun comes out from Wyan, the suppression comes out, and it looks like Wiggly's going to go ahead and go down. But Kitsuo is answered on the following side. Shiro goes in, a double kill coming in for Keith on this Cogmal. And he's now going to be on the backside as the Rise ult comes in, the Root comes in, and it looks like Wyan's going to fall to Golden Glue. Rikara is not going to take down anyone. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what I was looking at there. He's going to try and hold this, but there's not a whole lot as he can do against this 4v1. The flash comes in, and Shiro goes in onto the fountain, taking that W a little bit further than he wanted to. But it looks like this is going to be the game for Cloud9 Academy. Very good one-sided game on the side of Cloud9 Academy, really able to snowball their lead and take the advantage. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the post-game stats for this game. With that Cloud9 victory, they were up nearly 9,000 gold in the lead at the end. If we look at this gold advantage graph, like I said, they were really able to just snowball this lead pretty much the entire game. They did stall out a little bit here in the mid game where they were trying to look for the Baron and weren't able to quite get it. What actually broke open this game for them? It was that Rise ult into the Baron pit after they were playing that tug of war around Baron. 100 Thieves Academy decided to back off and they ended up losing their mid lane turret. The Rise ult came out from Golden Glue and Cloud9 Academy was really able to kind of sneak that Baron for themselves. Once that happened, 100 Thieves Academy did have a good fight and able to kill off 1 for 0 at one point. I believe it was this fight here. But it wasn't enough for them. They weren't able to stall out that Baron buff. And Cloud9 Academy just had a couple of better team fights there at the end of the game and really able to take advantage of the gold lead that they had and blow through 100 Thieves Academy. Really good job onto Keith, staying safe on this Cogmaul, didn't die a single time, was able to just put out a massive amount of damage, as well as Golden Glue having a great game for himself, using those Rise ults and split pushing to really secure the win for themselves. On the side of 100 Thieves Academy, I thought Ricard played very well. He had a 3-0-2 scoreline. He just wasn't able to poke out quite enough onto the side of Cloud9 Academy. Linsanity had some okay Malzahar ults, and they were able to stop Shiro a couple times. I did like Kitsuo's play on the Jarvan, just really pulling the trigger and starting these fights, which worked out for them a couple times. But by the time they actually decided to start doing that, they were pretty far down in gold already, so it was hard for them to actually get an advantage from that. If we take a look at the stats here, damage dealt to champions, that Kog'Maw damage is ridiculous, 33.7, almost matching that poke of the Ezreal at 33.9. So again, really good onto Keith, showing why he used to be in the LCS but is now in the Academy League. Able to play these fights out very well for himself, playing behind his front line, as well as having that Tom Kinch there to eat him up and support him. Overall, very good game from Cloud9 Academy. Again, able to use their global ultimates with the Tom Kinch and Rise and really just squeeze out 100 Thieves Academy from this game. I think that's going to wrap up this game. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to see more, check me out on YouTube. Thanks.